Hello again, friends. Let's try this again. Welcome back to my One Bro and Orlando attempts, which aren't going super well yet, but yeah, we'll see. I'm going to switch back out to the Raw Reinforced Club for a while. He was doing better damage against those gargoyles. I could kill him in 2 hits, as opposed to 3 hits, and 2 hits is better than 3 hits. While we're playing this time, I have another question I've received. This one from Jeremy Greer. If you're watching this, you know who Jeremy Greer is. Jeremy Greer does about 87 podcasts. You literally cannot stop him. He hosts on Dark Insight. He runs Don't Give Up Skeleton. He appears on Days of Future Cast with Gary Butterfield. What else did he do? He has just started Monster of the Week, a supernatural show with friends of the show, Chris Moja and Stephen Veilleux. What else did he do? He's on with me on Radio Free Midworld, the Dark Tower podcast on Duckfeed. He is everywhere. If you have a podcast, Jeremy Greer has probably been on it at some point. The man doesn't stop. And it's kind of fitting that that's what we've started with. So Jeremy's question reads as such, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to move on because I need to pay attention to this one. How do you think your life has changed since you began Twin Humanities? Do you play games differently at all? Has having an audience changed the way you interact with people on the internet? If you could go back to the beginning, what would you have done differently leading up to now, if anything at all? I'm always very curious to get a look into the minds behind the shows I listen to, so that's where my instinct took me. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to try and answer this in bits then, because this is a long question, and I've got 15 minutes, so we can do that. So how has my life changed since we did the show? Since we started the show. So where I was before, I was just a standard internet person before we started doing Twin Humanities. I commented on the Polygon forums quite a lot. You'll know this actually if you've listened to my Don't Give Up Skeleton episode. I think I elaborated about this on there. I was just a regular person from the internet. I used to enjoy talking my arse off about games. I made a few odd videos here and there for the Polygon forum every now and again, and I used to have a good time with it, but it wasn't anything serious. And obviously we started the show for long reasons, which we'll get into another time. And since we started the show, it's been strange being part of a community. Before, just gonna deal with this piece of shit before I do anything else because I hate this guy. Okay, here we go. Oh, you can do one. I've never considered myself part of a gaming community before we start the show. I'm gonna heal. This is hard to talk about and play. Oh, suck my dick. Before I start the show, this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, it's been really cool being part of a network. The Dark Souls community in particular is at times it's the worst place in the world, and at other times it's the best. You mentioned, I'm playing Dark Souls for the first time. People will jump in and people will talk and people will offer you help and assistance, and they'll offer you, advice, things to try, things to go. And the friendships you form, over a shared triumph of beating a boss together. Those memories are amazing. The first time you be invaded, the first time you get summoned to a friend's world, or a friend helps you out, and even the first time you meet up with an actual friend in this game particularly, not so much the sequels, but trying to sort of do some arcane kung fu and stick your summon sign in a place you think no one else is going to look, and then agreeing where to go, and coming up with rituals of how to make it sync up. Me and CJ had a nightmare of a time getting it to work. But those memories don't go away. I have so many memories of standing here, in this place, by this thing, going underneath to the little corridor that's just underneath this bit here, running back and forwards, switching out my armour, switching out my weapon, taking my shield off, trying all sorts of just mental kung fu to make this thing work. Obviously, since the show, as we left Polygon eventually, we sort of spread our wings and became our own thing. We jumped onto Twitter and kind of live there now, to be honest. Twitter's where I live now. I think it helped me move away from Facebook doing the show. It's helped me get my inroad on Twitter because I hadn't done it before. And the people I've met there have all been, uniformly brilliant. That's all you people listening, so well done all of you. What was the next part of the question? I'm going to look that up while I stand still safely. Do I play games differently now? Yeah. Like, yeah. So when I'm playing... Ooh! Just do one, you penis. Sorry, I'm just going to get away and focus up a second before I carry on talking. I'm going to get onto this bridge, and I'm going to continue. Oof, there we go. So yeah, the question was, do I play games differently now I do the show? Almost certainly yes. Anything I'm playing now, I've always got an ear out to, like, you know, could this be a good thing to talk about on the show? Be it on Twin Humanities or be it on our other show, our Over Humanities, where we just talk about general other games that aren't Dark Souls. Have some of that, you slag. Do you know what? I'm just topping off every time. Thank you. That's beaut. That's beaut. That's top. Here's a great example. Dark Souls 3. Would I have played as much of that game as I did if I didn't have to talk about it on the show? Would I fuck? I think I find myself playing these games a lot more when I've got a bit of idle time. Because, you know, I need information to talk about on the show. You know, I find myself looking at games that are Souls-like. And I hate that term so much because Souls-like games tend to be just not what I want. Oh, eat my butt! And another one! And another one! Sorry. Right, now don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Come on. Yes! Come on, video game. Come on, video game. Nothing. That's what you got. Oh. I'm glad we were talking about this while I did this bit. Right, I'm just going to run in here. I'm going to get to this save point very quickly. How are we doing for time? How are we doing for time? Oh my god, 7 minutes. Amazing. I've got all the time in the world. I'm just going to close the door again. No. No. Hang on. No. Let's do this better. Can we... Here we go. We can sit and talk nicely in here. I'm just going to pop this bonfire before I do anything else. I'm going to talk to you in a minute. A good example, I was playing Salt and Sanctuary last week, and I do have some opinions for that I'll be sending on the show, but the entire time I'm playing it, I'm thinking, you know, what do I like about this? What do I not like? Am I exploring it well enough? Am I focusing on the lore? Because before I started playing Dark Souls, I didn't give a shit about lore. You know, I'd read books in Skyrim and Fallout, but they'd be, you know, stories to listen to. You know, nothing too fantastic. Oh, shit me. Scared myself there. Maybe nothing too fantastic, but now I've always got an eye out on what I'm doing and where I'm going, and I'm looking for, you know, visual design more than text, I think. I'm looking at places I go to. Salt and Sanctuary, for example, you know, I'm looking at the background and trying to take in as much of the information about, you know, the salt, and I'm not very far in, to be honest, yet. I'm only 2 bosses down, so I'm only kind of scratching the surface at the minute. But just seeing how everything kind of links up and looking at the kind of enemies that you're fighting in different areas and knowing that there's going to be reasons for all this, you know, I find that really, really interesting. And now I'm playing games in that sort of podcasty way. Yeah, I do play games differently. And if something isn't fun, you know, and I'm not having a lot of fun with it, I will sack it off. Sometimes if a game I want to play with CJ and I want to talk about with on the podcast, you know, I'll either put it off or I'll wait until he's around and we'll, you know, try and play it together at the same time. And this has led to me actually completely forgetting to go back and play some games I've downloaded. We've had a few things. We said, oh yeah, we'll play that. We'll give that a go together. And we never went back to it. Good example, Final Fantasy XIV. We downloaded the trial for that like 2 years ago or whenever it came out on PS4. And we just never got to it. We intended to go in and play together. It just didn't happen. And I think I've been getting hold of more games, but then not playing those games in a strange way. That's how I've changed my game. Has having an audience... Okay, here's the next part of the question then. We're on 8 minutes now. Has having an audience changed the way you interact with people on the internet? Oh, Christ, yes. Okay, so beforehand, I did... Okay, hang on, we'll let him talk while I think for a second.
You've been quiet these days? Smooth summoning out there? Anytime you see my brilliantly shining signature, do not hesitate to call upon me. You've left me with quite an impression. I would relish a chance to assist you.
Solare's so good. So
You
good.
really are fond of chatting with me, aren't you? If I didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for me. Oh no, dear me, pretend you didn't hear that.
I do. Solare, I love you. I do have the feelings.
You really are.
Okay, we've done this right. Where were we? Has having the podcast changed how I interact with people? Almost certainly, yes. When we first started the show, or even before we started the show, the internet was a strange place for me back then. It was kind of I'm not going to say it was one of those no rules, get away with what you want kind of places, because I'm not that kind of person. You know, I'm not going to just go on and call someone all sorts of names because they can't get me for real. You know, it's very boring to me. No. 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 God. God! Come on. No. Better. Better. Swig, 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 swig. Much better. Thank you. Bye, Silverman. I oftentimes find when I'm talking to people online now, I am more apt to talk to people that, you know, without something in common. People come to us from the internet. I have people send me tweets and messages, and, you know, the emails we receive even, and the comments on the YouTube video are from people that are coming to us from the show. You know, it's not my friends I've met in real life. It's not people that I know on a forum that we've all come there together. They've come to me. So as the person who, you know, as I'm the reason they're talking to me, you know, as I'm the reason that people are chatting, I kind of feel duty bound to, you know, to do right by people. I don't believe in ignoring people if, you know, they are thicker than me. I'm not intimating any of you are thicker than me. But this is a really good example of the way that I talk to people now. Like, I will give anyone the time of day. I will listen to everybody. And part of that's help from where I work. Again, I work in a charity shop, and I work with a lot of volunteers. And some of these volunteers come from different backgrounds and have, you know, different abilities and different mannerisms, different ways of working. And I'm very tolerant. You know, I can take a lot of discussion, and I can put up with a fair lot of talk from someone if I don't get on with them. If I might have different opinions than them. You know, you might have vastly different opinions on various topics, should we say. Hey, look at the political climate we're in at the moment in England and in America. You know, I mean, and working in the place I do, which is quite a place that did vote for Brexit and did vote out. You know, that's not what I voted, you know, and yeah, boy, stuff I can't use. And still being able to find a way of talking to these people, you know, and still finding a way to connect with them is really important, because you can't just write someone off because you disagree with, you know, their opinions online, and that online particularly is, hang on, yeah, you're a cheeky one. And I think that's helped me, or maybe I would say that my chatting on the internet, as well as the work in the shop I do, has helped me deal with, you know, people from various different backgrounds and cultures and all sorts. You know, I'll never write anyone off if they've got, you know, a nice idea or they've got a question to ask me. I'll always give you the time of day. If you send me through a question to this show, I will endeavour to answer it as best I can, because you've taken the time to get in contact, and I, you know, it's only the honourable, you can look at me, the decent thing to treat people with a bit of respect and reply in the way that you would want to be treated to yourself. Too many websites, I've noticed, have just the toxic, awful, evil communities. And I think it says something that the community that I've gathered around myself from the podcast, and, you know, from meeting other podcasters and chatting to them, you're all just lovely people. You know, you're a bit grumpy at E3, but you're all such nice people. You know, I can talk to you a lot about anything. And I can put a tweet up, and I know I won't have 73 people just jumping back down my throat and telling me I'm wrong. And that's amazing. You know, that's really nice that we can have discussion and civilised chat without having to just murder each other. So yeah, I got a bit off topic there, but yeah, that's how the show has changed how I see people. You know, it's given me a better way of interacting online with friends and foes. You know, friends and enemies and people you might disagree with. You know, it just encourages you to treat everyone with a bit of respect and a bit more openness. And I think that'll do for that answer, because we've been going for a while now, and we've accomplished quite a lot. So I'm gonna wave you back for later. So I will see you later. Toodles. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to send them in. Either send them to me on Twitter at Paddy Stardust, or chuck them in the comments on the YouTube videos. I will try and endeavour to answer them all as best I can on the show where possible. I'll be doing hopefully one question an episode. Unless it's a short one, I might do a double up. Or if it's a particularly long, in-depth question, I might split it in half. I should have probably split this one in half. But there you go. That's just how things roll. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.